PharmaPhobic is powered by Achieve the Lifestyle, a company dedicated to helping you empower your health, redefine your lifestyle, and all for the health of it. You're listening to PharmaPhobic, where we challenge the state of health in America. I'm Janie, a physician assistant, and I've seen how healthcare keeps people dependent instead of truly healthy.
And I'm Dan, a veteran turned fitness pro here to uncover the truth and explore simple and sustainable health solutions. From big pharma to big food, we're exposing the conflicts of interest keeping us sick and finding better ways to take back our health.
No fluff, no gimmicks, just real talk, real solutions, and a little bit of fun along the way. Howdy.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of PharmaPhobic, where we help you achieve the strongest, healthiest, and most capable version of yourself. This is brought to you by Achieve the Lifestyle. Yes, the company that helps you get healthier. Anyway, I am here with a lovely person, somebody who I love very much, and she's always by my side. My lovely wife, Janie.
Hello.
You're so awkward. I can see your face.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
We also have a Maggie Moo in the
who's
studio.
Down by me.
It's my baby. She's been with Daddy all day.
She is.
She's been in the gym.
You two are bonding more and more.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
She's my little baby.
Yeah.
And we ride in the car and she just sits up straight and just...
She's a front seat rider.
She's a shotgun rider now. The other day, I went to put her in the back where I've been putting her, and she didn't want to get in, and then I opened the front door and she jumped right in. So she's like, nah, I'm riding shotgun, bro. These backseat stuff, this is over.
And yes, we do have a little seatbelt for her.
Yeah, she's got a little seatbelt in her little thing. It makes it cooler, though, because that way I don't feel like I'm her Uber driver. You know, she's riding shotgun with me. That's always nice. Anyway, we got some stuff to get into today.
Yep.
First, I want to talk a little bit. Let's talk about this thing with my neck. We've talked about this before in a previous episode. We were talking about, finding physical therapists and that sort of thing. I happened to go to the manual therapist today to get my neck released, like the muscles in my neck.
So 2 times now, he has had a wicked headache when working out.
Yeah.
Now, this is concerning because when you think about when you're working out, your heart rate and blood pressure are elevating, and elevated blood pressure can cause a headache, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could also be if you're dehydrated, you haven't gotten enough electrolytes, a bunch of these things. And so with Dan, we know pretty much that you're well hydrated, you're good at that. You're usually working out in the morning, you've already downed some electrolytes, and we know that your blood pressure is not elevated. For the most part, if we were more concerned about that, we would check it at home. But you had a feeling it was not your blood pressure, hydration, anything like that. You felt it was more tension, muscular related. And why did you feel that way?
Well, at first I thought that I was going ham because it was happening after some Bulgarian split squats, which are horrible, guys. If you do Bulgarian split squats, I've been doing them for years. They never get easier. They're terrible. And when you think you got them dominated, you just make them heavier and then you die again. So it was right after doing, and I've been lifting heavy for a while. But
This is the drama I live with.
Oh my God, girl. You know I'm right. I mean, I had the 95s in each hand. I've done them at 100. So I thought I was like, oh, I'm going hard. And I've kind of experienced that when we were running like a conjugate back in the day where I was lifting really heavy, like squatting 400, just a slight headache after
you saw fireflies?
Yeah, and a slight headache after a heavy deadlift or a heavy squat where you strain really hard, but it's like a moment, right? It's like a couple seconds, it's gone. So I thought it was that, but these would linger a little bit longer. So they started last week, and then last week we did wrestling class, and that's a lot of collar time. Like the neck was getting banged up a lot.
And Dan was the demo guy.
I was the
so
demo
I was like,
guy.
Can I see that again?
Yeah, I was a demo guy, and then because I was the odd man out, I was training with the instructor, right? And he's a professional MMA fighter.
A sturdy guy.
A sturdy guy. And he's been wrestling since God knows when, so he's got ham hocks, boom, going around my neck. I'm like, ooh, that feels a little different. This isn't the same as training with other oldsters like myself, So, the neck got beat up, and then this week again, it happened again. I got a headache, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have to But I don't know. I just got a feeling. I was like, my neck was really tense. I'm like, I think it's just the muscles in my neck, really, which I've been having problems with. That this is happening. So I went to see the therapist, and he dug in with his magical thumb in there, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, so good, hurts so good," and
That's weird.
yeah, and now I'm good. Now it's like I could feel it, like I could feel my head releasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, your sinus. You were a little
Yes.
He sounded a little congested last night, and I was like, "Uh-oh, don't get me sick now."
Well, Dan Brown doesn't get sick. What?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, the thing is, I don't get headaches. Like I was telling one of my clients, I was like, I haven't had, because she saw me right after I did the set, and I was like, oh, my head. And I haven't had a headache since I was like a teenager. You know, so 42, that's a long time to go without a headache. Even when I'm like pretty dehydrated, I just haven't gotten a headache in a long time. So that was a weird feeling to me. Like, ugh, I haven't felt this in ages. So, but I kind of figured, you know, you start kind of thinking about it and like, yeah, the way I feel it, I think that's just tension in my neck and my traps. And that's exactly what it was. Now, I was thinking about it, the reason we're bringing it up, I'm like, you could have gone down a little pharma rabbit hole there. Because I could have been like, ooh, I have this headache. Let me pop some Tylenol. Oh, this headache came back. Let me go see the doctor. Ooh, let me get on a stronger like pain reliever.
Oh, I'm congested.
Oh, I'm congested. I need to pop in whatever the hell you pop in when you're
Nasal spray,
congested.
which aren't bad, but
You know, and I could have gone down this rabbit hole of stuff that really wasn't going to help me, when all along I needed just to like relax my traps and my scalenes and my SCM and these muscles right here in the back of the neck.
And the occiput.
Yeah. All of those muscles, like, and even the traps, like he was like working on my traps, and they were, I mean, as soon as he put his hands on it, it felt like you were trying to tenderize a big old hunk of meat. And then he had me move my neck, and I could just feel my face stretching, you know, and
it's weird. It's like it's all connected.
I mean, exactly. That's the whole point. So it's all connected, guys. Don't underestimate that fact right there. And, you know, it pays to be curious, I think, before you start, oh, I have this, it's just this one thing. And, you know, start thinking, oh, I'm having nasal congestion. Maybe you ate the wrong thing. You know, maybe it's not does that make sense? Like, it could be a lot of stuff. And that curiosity of wanting to solve your problems should be something that you always carry. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We're about to get into some health topics, because that's what we do here, guys. Okay. I had this from last podcast, and we never got to it because we went in on some stuff. This is a Finland. Oh, wait, wisdom filters. Let me put these on so I can actually read what I have here. Finland Children's Health Experiment. So I already like it because the Norwegians tend to be a little bit more on the holistic kick. Like, they tend to be they live a little different, right?
Yeah, they tend to utilize a lot of basics and nature and just logic.
Yep. They Norwegians, I said the Scandinavians, like people from that up there high in northern, I said Norwegians, but Norway, Sweden, Finland, you know, they're all connected. Iceland's not connected, but it's in that high north area. But these people tend to be, you know, more natural remedies, like the sauna studies that everybody quotes came out of Norway or Finland. So something to consider there. The cold plunging studies, they're also out of there. So they did an experiment with their kindergartens. They basically took a couple of kindergartens, removed all the gravel pits and all the plastic mats that you usually see in a kindergarten. And what they did is they literally brought a carpet. They cut out a chunk of forest and planted it outside the kindergarten. And then they had the kids running around and playing in it the majority of the day. The children were 3 to 5 years old. They took 75 children, and it was a 2-year study. That's why they were 3 to 5. At 10 daycare centers. And then they blood tested the kids after they put them in that environment, for the majority of the time. And they did blood tests and gut testing. And what they found was staggering. What do you think they found?
I would say kids being out more in nature are going to have a more robust immune system. And part of having a more robust immune system means more diversity within the gut.
Yes, ma'am. You see? That's why she knows. That's why she knows. That's why y'all, that's why she knows. That's why she is who she is. Yes. So gut testing found less disease-causing bacteria.
Bacteria.
Bacteria. That was Spanglish. Just came out of there.
No, that was like...
It's like Old English?
Yeah.
You making fun of my accent.
It's like you're on the set of Harry Potter.
Oh, my God.
There might be some bacteria.
Oh, my God. No.
Sorry.
Stop. But this is bacteria like Streptococcus. Streptococcus.
Just say strep.
Streptococci? Yeah, strep bacteria, everybody knows what that is, right? So, and less inflammatory markers in their gut. And the thing about it is that within 28 days of exposure, they noticed an increase in T cells, which is basically
immune function. Yeah.
Immune function marker, right? The theory that they have is that a lot of the allergies and autoimmune conditions that children are experiencing these days are due to lack of exposure more than anything.
Over-sterilization.
Yeah. And things like that. Yes. So let's talk about that for a second. One that comes to mind, peanut butter allergies. Now, I don't think I used to eat peanut butter sandwiches like it was my job. Not
PB&J all day.
No, not PB&J, just peanut butter for Dan Brown. PB&J. I didn't have a PB&J till I was in the States.
Just feels like it's dry and stuck on the roof of my mouth when you say that.
Kind of was. I am having a memory of being like, just trying to chew that thing. But yes.
Like, can I get a banana in that?
It was apples. This was what I ate in kindergarten. It was PB&J, peanut butter sandwich, an apple juice. Double dipping on that apple right there. And I would have it every day. Now, I don't think you could take a peanut butter sandwich to school because if you pop it open in the classroom and one of the kids has an allergy and that thing hits the air, the kid's gonna have an allergic reaction and like a pretty serious one, And that's more and more common, right? Like I just don't recall. Did you have anybody that was allergic to peanut butter when you were growing up? Or peanuts?
Not that I recall. And if it wasn't airborne. It was just they couldn't ingest it. So there was no restriction.
When I started hearing about that, it was I can't eat it, right? But if I'm around it, it's fine. Like, but now it's like you can't even be around it.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like
Your producer's here for real quick on that. Just a weird, useless fact. You want to hear this? So there's a fear of having peanut butter stuck on the roof of your mouth. Mm-hmm. That is called arabutyrophobia.
Oh, dear.
Iraq what?
Arabutyrophobia is fear of choking or being unable to open one's mouth caused by past traumatic things. Anyway, thought I'd bring that in.
That could have happened to me when I was a child.
It's a traumatic thing. It becomes a traumatic thing, and then it's an intense fear or anxiety, or even thinking about peanut butter, shortness of breath.
Wow.
Distressed memories.
I was fighting for my life every day. I didn't even know it.
You didn't know it?
With that sandwich stuck to the roof of my mouth. I didn't even know.
You just needed some jelly in your life.
No, because that would have been salty sweet. I could, not as a child. I couldn't have had that. No. Just straight peanut butter for me. Thank you.
But he has an apple with it and apple juice. Tell me that's not salty sweet, but whatever.
That came after the sandwich.
Okay.
It was the dessert after, separated. But anyway. So there's an obvious rise in autoimmune conditions in children.
Yes.
And like they're pretty, Maggie, Maggie's in the studio, guys, and she's making weird noises. Anyway.
But yeah, so there's a theory that the rise in the number of allergies that kids are allergic to or autoimmune issues is the lack of exposure. And so it's not too far off the same thing about if you think about people who are, so when the Europeans sailed to other lands that, were isolated, especially if they were on islands or really secluded, what happened? Those people who weren't exposed to anything would then get sick, right?
And then
I know it's completely different. It's not an allergy, but what I'm just saying is that if we don't get these little microdoses of the environment, then we lose the ability to handle things that we are confronted with.
Yeah.
And when somebody's inside all the time, they're not exposed to any elements or very minimally exposed, then they don't have the diversity of the immune system to recognize things, or the gut microbiome is less diverse, which I don't think that there's enough attention paid to how diverse your microbiome in your gut can influence your immune system. You're just going to hyper react to everything.
Yeah. And that's another one, lactose intolerance. That's huge.
Yeah.
Another thing that's super common these days, you have peanut allergies, lactose intolerance.
But the lactose intolerance, I don't think is so much lack of exposure. I think it's a lot with the processing of the dairy.
Oh, no doubt.
Which can go, so they in a sense sterilize the dairy.
Yeah.
Right?
They've removed everything that would be nutritious in the milk, and then they re-added in synthetic form. And then in that removal process through the high pasteurization, there's not pasteurized now, it's ultra pasteurized, right?
Yeah.
Through that heating, we've talked about this before, when you heat something to extreme amounts or extreme temperatures for a long period of time, you ruin it, right? You take the nutrients out. So the enzymes that would help you digest milk have been removed. So there is that part.
Yeah.
But then, so there's a lot of that.
And also the diversity of the bacteria on your skin. There are some people, and Dan's going to hate this, who think we over cleanse our skin.
I don't disagree in part. I don't disagree with that in part. I'm not going to hate it because I know that's true. Yeah, there is such a thing as washing your butt too much.
Yeah.
But we got to put caveats on that, right? Because there's some people that don't wash their butts enough.
Okay.
Listen, I'm watching you out there. But anyway, there's like other things, all these allergies, I picked on peanuts, but there's other stuff that kids tend to be allergic to these days that is just popping up. Things like lupus are probably a little bit more common. Rheumatoid.
Those are autoimmune disorders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, this is part of the.
Because
I'm not talking about
allergies, and then you started.
Yeah, and I'm
listing
crossing
off
over into autoimmune disorders as well that weren't as common in young people back then, but that are obviously on the rise now. So there's a concerning trend of all these autoimmune conditions that we just write them off as genetic, but nobody's looking into causality, into what's causing this sort of thing.
And the more I've looked into gut issues and doing gut studies on people, things like H. pylori and other opportunistic bacteria that we don't want to be overgrowth can be associated with some autoimmune disorders.
Yes. I've heard people talk about also birth, the way people are, being given birth to these days. It also contributes to the lack of development in gut microbiome.
So I talked about that a little bit, how there's a company, Tiny Health, that does gut testing on kids and adults, but also does for women who are getting ready to conceive or have conceived, or at any time really, vaginal microbiome testing, because the health of the microbiome of the birth canal is what covers the baby's skin and also helps determine their gut microbiome, and then subsequently the breast milk. So the gut bacteria of the woman will influence the content of her breast milk, which then influences the gut bacteria in the infant. And so it's just all connected.
Yeah, all connected, which funny enough on breast milk, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but this is a study that we should definitely deep dive into. they're studying the prefrontal cortex development of children of obese mothers that were breastfed.
Yeah.
And basically these kids, their prefrontal cortex develops slower or less
Yeah.
if they're breastfed by an obese mother. That speaks
Right.
to the nutrition in the breast milk. So kind of going back to what you were saying.
Yeah, but it's
there.
also the baby is deriving nutrients in the womb. So what the mother's consuming, her blood glucose levels, her stress levels, that's why people say that if a mother experiences traumatic events while she's pregnant, that does influence the baby. And so I think yes, breast milk,
multifactorial.
but it's kind of if the breast milk is influencing because the mother is obese, then all the other factors will also influence it, because she wouldn't have just gotten obese and before she breastfed. Yeah, so.
But that we're talking at this point, it's you are what you eat type of thing. Like what the mom's eating is probably not the best, and then it's not producing the best quality breast milk, and then the child's not having. So it becomes a cycle, right?
Yeah.
But that's an interest. It's something we should definitely approach for a future episode, because I think that study, when I'm reading the preliminaries on it, like the abstract and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's
Because
worth
even
talking about.
Yes. So obviously the breast milk of the mother is going to influence the child, but even as adults who we surround ourselves by, we're obviously not breastfeeding each other, but we're just, interacting, especially if we're doing physical things like jujitsu together, we are
influencing each other's
gut microbiome. Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Anyway, that's something to think about there. Like all these diseases that we're just writing off as, oh, it's genetic, don't worry about it. And nobody's like doing the deep dive on it.
Yeah.
And I really, that write off of it's genetic, I can't stand it, because it's almost like you're closing the door on the search for answers, right?
So it's nuanced, right? Because I don't know if a mother, like, okay, it is genetic, but it's because the mother ate this way and had this that now it's influencing the kid. And so it's not genetic, like the genes have changed, but it's more the lifestyle has been passed. Your behaviors are influencing and
or the
carrying
environmental
on.
Conditions that you're exposed to have been, the child has been exposed to.
And I think we've seen it in real time where like a parent is obese, and then whether it's because the breast milk or just their eating behaviors, their activity behaviors, now the kids are obese, and people can just observationally say like, oh, it's genetic, but it's really, no, it's what you're doing day to day.
Yeah.
But at what point is then the gene going to change in response to that? And now it is.
Well, and now that's where my mind went to when I was kind of perusing that study about the obese mother breast milk, kind of, it messes up the kid's prefrontal cortex development. It definitely got me thinking. I was like, oh, we got Harvard educated people, whatever her name is, the dietetics board lady that was on 60 Minutes saying that obesity is genetic and there's nothing you can do about it, where I'm like, oh, we might actually get to the point where that crazy statement that she made might actually be true.
There are some genetic markers that can make obesity more likely, but it's not as common as the rates of obesity are currently. And I think people, they'll take a fact and won't give the full truth of it and then use it as a broad stroke.
Yeah. No, this lady's statement was insane. I'm like, yo, I hope you got, like, fam, you need to sit down somewhere, not on the board of suggesting what Americans should be eating. You definitely don't belong there. Yeah. So hopefully.
But, if you think about it, who are the healthier people? The people who are outside, moving their body regularly, kind of, doing little stress tests regularly on their bodily functions, like working out regularly is going to stress your body. And in return, as long as you're not burning it to the ground and you're adequately recovering, in turn is going to bolster a better immune response.
Yeah, so you almost got to die a little bit to get stronger.
Okay. But then exposure to the outdoors, we know that sunlight, vitamin D helps with immune response. We know that just being exposed to the earth more, barefoot outside, getting a little dirty, not being inside under artificial light, super clean all the time can lead to a better immune system. And then this study definitely
this study
did like a quick blip. Proved it.
well, I mean, it's a 2-year study, and then they have an Australian study that corroborates it. They basically co-signed on it because they did something similar, having kids play in different soils, and the same thing, better guts and better immune function. So this goes to what this makes me think about is like this retreat to the indoors, right? I think a couple weeks ago I posted this thing of like, man, going outside used to be like this cherished reward, right? When we were kids, where it was like, if your mom told you to sit down somewhere and watch TV, you're like kind of bummed about it.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to be outside, like skateboarding, bicycle,
Yeah.
and jumping around and running around. I want to go see my friends because they're down the street. I want to go play basketball, and now it's like people will do whatever it takes to stay their booties indoors.
Yeah.
Temperature
And then
control.
I just think about, college beer pong.
Ooh, that definitely got your immune system strong. It got it strong.
The ball wash cup is just
Oh my God. And that ball going in the floor. And
on
then
the floor, and then just boop right in your cup, and you got to chug it.
Oh, not only a floor, but a floor of a bar and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I remember the first time I played beer pong, it was at a bar in Virginia Beach, like some Navy bar in Virginia Beach. No, it wasn't a gay bar. I had to get the Navy joke in there. But it was, it's a nasty bar. I mean, it was actually kind of a cool bar because they had all these pool tables that they turned into beer pong tables at night. But it was, it's a bar. And the ball's going on the floor and we're putting it in the thing and there you're drinking the beer.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, but this retreat to the indoors that we're currently experiencing is definitely something that we need to look at.
Yeah, not even retreat to the indoors, but if you think about some concrete jungles, like New York City, when are they ever exposed to dirt and grass?
Oh,
and
no, they're exposed to dirt. Just not the right kind.
Oh, okay. But you know what I mean? Like you have to make it, you can't just like walk out of your home or apartment and go stand on a lawn. You have to seek it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where my mind goes to every time is somewhere like New York City, where the buildings are literally covering the sun from hitting you at most of the day. Even when it's good sunlight hours, you would have to walk down to the pier or something to get in the sun. But if you're in the streets, you're not going to get some sunlight there.
Yeah.
You'd be a weirdo if you're like taking your shirt off at the park or something and get some good vitamin D, get some sunlight, or stand on grass. It's probably Central Park will probably be your only choice.
Yeah, I mean,
there.
there's plenty of little parks, but you just have to seek it.
Yeah, you'd have to really go out of your way to get sunlight and stand on grass in a place like New York City. Then, I mean, you're exposed to dirt from like brake dust and noise pollution and all this stuff and trash and all this stuff, but you're not exposed to like soil and that sort of thing. So that becomes problematic. And then you go in these buildings and everything is sanitized to the gills. You're touching these Purell and wipes and wiping everything down, Clorox wipes and all this stuff.
Remember during COVID, who didn't get sick?
Who didn't get sick?
Homeless people.
Ooh, girl. Hey, listen.
Vitamin D because they're outside a lot, depending
hats,
on
y'all.
the location. And they're probably not showering every day.
Grab your hats, y'all. Yeah, that was a big point. I think about like at the gym, like you probably can see my hands now, but my hands, I'm wiping stuff down, right? I train somebody, like sweat on it, wipe it down, right? So at first I was touching the wipes a lot and my hands were just getting destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this stuff it seeps through your skin. If it touches your skin, it more than likely is going into your bloodstream, right? So what am I going to be running on Clorox? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is wild. Like, if it's destroying my skin like that, chances are it's
especially
probably not
your
that
skin
great
was
for you.
cracking. So yeah, the barrier's broken.
Yeah, it's not great for you, right? So I'm not saying that you should live in a nasty, like, don't sanitize anything ever. You know, like if you want to sanitize something, maybe your phone might be a good idea, because I see people that
Or,
they'll sanitize the crap out of stuff, but they'll never touch their phone, and they'll put their phone on the gym floor and then they'll put it to their face 2 minutes later.
Now, soap revolutionized immune health, like in disease, cutting it down, right? Soap and stopping like spitting just on people and outside.
Yeah.
So those things are great, but we're talking like wash your hands after you take a dookie and wipe your butt. Okay? Wash your hands like during things like, if you're sick, you know to wash your hands. You touch something obviously dirty.
You're going to touch your food, wash your hands.
Yeah. And so
You
that
touch
I
raw
understand,
meat, wash
but
your hands.
yeah. But the like during this time of year, it doesn't even have to be about COVID, but just during flu season, the obsessive use of sanitizers, like hand sanitizers and always washing the hands and stuff like that it's a little much. So there's a balance, right? We're not telling you to forego any cleanliness and just, be raw and dirty. We're telling you, use common sense. Wash your hands if there's something that's gross. Usually anything that your body is excreting is waste and not good for you. So you should wash your hands if you come into contact with it. Pee, poop, cough, snot, those things, okay? And now let's take a quick break. Have you heard about collagen and how amazing it is for your skin, hair, nails, digestion, and joints, but have no clue which one to choose? I've been there. A few years ago, I stumbled upon Bubs Naturals, and let me tell you, I've been hooked ever since. Here's why I swear by them. Bubs Naturals keeps their quality standards sky high from the start to finish. Their collagen blends perfectly in coffee, or really any other beverage you love. Plus, they've got convenient to-go packs so you can stay on track wherever life takes you. And it doesn't stop there. They'll donate 10% of all of their proceeds to charities that support veterans. How awesome is that? Oh, and they've leveled up their electrolytes too. The mixed berry, that's my absolute favorite. It's light, refreshing, and not overly sweet. What sealed the deal for me? Their electrolytes are NSF certified, made right here in the USA, and just like their collagen, every purchase helps give back. So do your body a favor, head to bubnaturals.com and use my code JANE20 at checkout for 20% off every time you order. Tired of looking like you lost a fight with a powdered donut every time you work out? Yeah, I was too. That's why I ditched the messy chalk and switched to Chalkless. Chalkless is a new, clean, residue-free grip enhancer that goes on in seconds and lasts for hours. No clouds, no cleanup, just a rock-solid grip. Whether you're crushing it in the gym, dominating on the pickleball court, or hanging on a rock face like Spider-Man, Chalkless has your back. I even hit my 350-pound deadlift PR at Summer Strong using Chalkless. Locked in, zero slip, total confidence. Ready to level up your grip game? Head over to chalkless.com and use code JANEBROWN to snag 10% off your order.
The whole thing to say that there's a balance, right? There's like the hyper sanitary environments that we're creating where it's like, and everything has to be wiped down with this antibacterial.
Yeah.
And then it's like this super harsh chemical that you're wiping it down with, which...
They even say like showering, you don't have to scrub yourself every single day, especially if you didn't do it. Like, yes, we do jujitsu. It's not just my sweat on my body. I'm going to shower. But if I didn't do anything all day, it's like, yes, I'm going to shower, but it's more of a rinse off and scrub the critical areas. You know what they are. But don't go crazy like scrubbing till you bleed on like your forearm.
That sounds like OCD. I wouldn't know what that is.
Dan does know what that is. And I like to call it CDO, compulsive disorder, obsessive, because it puts it in alphabetical order that way.
Oh my God. I do like it. I do like it. Does sound...
CDO instead of OCD?
Yeah,
it's out of order.
Compulsive disorder with obsession,
You just go compulsive disorder, obsessive.
Now, all these chemicals, when you retreat indoors and you're pulled in with
Just
all
that
your little
recycled air.
cleaning products and your recycled air and your climate controlled, and you never go outside and you never touch grass and all this stuff, which is really where we're all going. That's what's happening to a lot of us.
Yep.
Majority of people live in big urban centers, and you just get wrapped up in your little urban life and everything. I go from my car to my office, back to my car. If I go to the gym, I go to this gym. It's all, and then I go home and blah, 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 blah. So
I
I'm
pray
indoors
every
all
night.
the time.
For us to have a little home on some land.
On the prairie?
Doesn't have to be. We can move back to the Midwest if you want.
Oh, my God. I don't know. It's too cold.
Oh my goodness.
When it get cold out there, it get cold.
Okay. Anyway, let's go.
But it toxins and endocrine disruption. We have to talk about that. Talking about being indoors and then talking
Your
about
Glade plugins.
candles.
Febreze.
Yeah, Febreze, your candles. All these cleaning products, right? Like if you walk into
Dryer
your
sheets.
bathroom, and when you're cleaning, like if you're bleaching your tub and you're in there breathing all that stuff in, endocrine disruption is the big topic. It's one of the biggest topics right now. I think it's probably number 3, after Ozempic. That's the biggest one. Endocrine disruption is one of microplastics would be the other one, right?
Yep.
So endocrine disruption is huge. But people are like, I wonder what's endocrine disrupting. Oh my guy, my brother in Christ. Look at all the stuff that you're breathing in and touching all day.
And it can get overwhelming because then you're like, it's everywhere. So big rocks, right?
Yeah.
Don't just put down your cucumber melon body spray. Don't do that. Okay.
That Bath and Body Works stuff.
Yes.
Ooh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Opt just for more natural cleansing hand soaps, cleaning products. And if not all of them, then start with the ones you most commonly use, like dish soap and hand soap. You can start to move to more natural detergents.
Yeah,
or maybe
I think
you
a
just
big
start
one,
with
like if
dryer
you're
sheets.
spraying stuff down in your apartment, like countertops and things like that, and you do it regularly, cleaning your tub and you're in there, just fuming it up with your bleach-based stuff, I would consider like the baking soda-based and the vinegar-based cleaning solutions, especially if, like I said, if you're using it for big areas. Like you might want to have a little bleach in the house for something weird mess that you need to disinfect. I don't know. You freaking spilled some.
Maggie had diarrhea.
Yeah.
On the floor.
Something like that. Or you like.
That was bleach, please.
Exactly. Or something, a little blood on something, whatever, you bleach that down. But other than that, if you're cleaning countertops regularly after you're done cooking or you're doing your shower, vinegar and baking soda-based cleaning products are probably a better bet. Because you won't feel like you're in there getting high with that stuff.
I always tell people, like, if you want to start making improvements in that stuff, you can look into it, but don't be afraid. You don't have to throw out everything you have. Finish what you have and then start replacing it with more natural things. That seems to be a more stepwise thing and doesn't make the burden of the cost, because full disclosure, the more natural things are going to be more expensive.
They're a little bit more expensive.
Stuff that's not good for you is always cheaper. I don't know how many times we have to say that. It's across the board with everything.
Yeah.
So this is how I like to approach it is when I need to replace something, let me then replace it with something that's more natural and healthier. That could be clothes, that could be cleaning products, that could be food, that could be supplements, all these things. Because it's, as we've mentioned, it's always an evolution. We're always learning more. Like we may have thought that something we were using was great. Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, so when that's due to be replaced, let me get the next thing that's better.
Heavy, like laundry detergent's another one. Like heavy laundry, Tide and all these ones that are like heavy, these crazy smells, heavily perfumed ones. That's endocrine disruption, fam. That's like...
Once you start to decrease use of it and then you smell it after...
Yeah, it smells terrible.
It's like it's too much.
Yeah.
It's like when you've heard of like smokers who used to smoke and now they can't stand the smell of smoke. Yeah.
Yep. It's funny too because vinegar is one that when you start realizing how effective vinegar is at cleaning stuff, I had years ago, somebody gave me the tip to put vinegar on my jujitsu stuff, on my gis. They're all sweaty and whatnot, and other people sweat. And, every now and then you find yourself rolling with stinky gi guy, and that smell kind of gets on your gi a little bit. So when somebody's like, just put vinegar on it. I'm like, vinegar? What are you talking about? I did it. It smells like super fresh. I mean, this nasty gi that is seeing a lot of action smells like brand new. Insane. And so vinegar is really powerful cleaner.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if some people we do jujitsu with comment and be like, no, bro, it doesn't smell that fresh.
Listen, it smells fresh. I've had people comment on the freshness of my ghee.
Okay. Well, you're welcome.
What? It wasn't you. I was putting vinegar on my ghee before we got together.
Okay.
You acting like I've been doing jujitsu since yesterday. Girl. Anyway, I put you on the vinegar.
Okay.
Did I?
But okay.
You're being a wife right now. Okay. We beat that to a pulp.
Yep.
Moving on. Kind of related to children. So anyway, takeaway here. Get your butts outside, guys. We've been telling you.
Touch earth.
It's one of the pillars, right? Exposure to the outdoors. We didn't just, I mean, we're not these pillars of health that we talk about. We didn't make them up. We just choose to put a big old spotlight on them all the time. There's a lot of people in the health space talking about this stuff. You got to get outside. You got to spend more time outdoors. Whatever you're doing, spend more time outdoors. Get your butt outside. Get your butt on the grass. Get your butt on some sand. Get your butt on whatever you can get in amongst some trees. Literally hug some trees, guys. It's good for you. No crap.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. I got another one here. This is a news article about Cheetos and Doritos. Kind of related to kids, right?
Yep.
Cheetos and Doritos are releasing a Simply Naked line. NKD. Simply Naked, right? So what they're doing is, I believe that they roll out in December 1st. No dyes or artificial, they're claiming no artificial flavors on there, but no dyes. No more the dyes as RFK got in there and they went to war on Red 40 and all these Maha people said, hey, the dyes are messing us up.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of them.
Is it to replace Cheetos altogether, or is it just going to be an option?
No, it's an option. It's a line. It's a separate line of Cheetos and Doritos. They'll still have the same old with the trash.
Okay.
Because the ban on the dyes doesn't really kick in till 2027, I want to say. So to speak on that, you're like, why 2 years? Why not tomorrow? A lot of these ultra processed foods, when the one you're buying at the store, if you look at the date that it was packaged, it was probably packaged around 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So much for freshness, right? So it makes sense that they would give them 2 years to phase it out because they probably have made products already.
Yeah.
They have millions of dollars in inventory to put into the supply chain and into the stores for the next 2 years. So they're going to empty that out and start producing the stuff without the dyes. Now, this is a PepsiCo product, right? And their R&D, their research and development people, they made this line in 8 weeks. 8 weeks they made this line. Let's pause here for a second. We've spoken about it before. People have been ringing the bell and the alarm on the artificial dyes for years. 80s, 70s. I mean, years people were saying this stuff is not good for us. Take it out of the food. They were laughed at. They were scoffed at. They were doxxed. All of it. Put it all together. Ridiculed in public. I mean, look at this guy. He doesn't want to eat made up colors and flavors. Ridiculous guy. Follow the science, bro. That's probably what they told him back in the day. Anyway. And now we're admitting all billions of dollars in profit later. We're admitting, and mystery illnesses galore all over. Now we're admitting that, hey, this stuff wasn't good for you.
Right.
Right? This stuff wasn't really good for you. So it took them 8 weeks to make the adjustment into taking the stuff out. Think about that for a second.
I wonder when Cheetos first rolled out, if this was just like they dusted off an old recipe before.
You know what? Sometimes I wish I could get in my little time machine and go take pictures of the Cheetos that I was eating when I was in kindergarten.
I don't know if I ever got brand Cheetos. I remember the cheese balls that came in the
Yeah,
tub? Oh, just pop them up in the air and try to catch them. So
oh
fun.
my God. It's so funny. We grew up very differently. It's like we're reversed.
Why are you so poor?
We're reversed. Anyway,
I got like Cheetos.
those they came in the bag. They were in the bottom shelf. The weird looking bag.
Oh, the cereal. Yeah, we didn't get boxes. We got the bags. Yeah.
Oh my God, man, that's so crazy. Listen, the whole thing is, if I had to bet, I bet you those Cheetos
Yeah.
back in Nam look completely different than the Cheetos. They look completely different than the Cheetos that we're eating now.
Because
that these
it's
kids are
infuriating
eating
to know that they could come up with a dye-free recipe in 8 weeks, because why not always?
now. Yep.
Right? And how quickly that was. And I really do wonder if when Cheetos very first came out, if they'd had dye-free because the dyes maybe weren't around or highly utilized yet. So was it just a recycled recipe?
I bet you they were using, I bet you those Cheetos back in the day were less orangey and neon than the ones that the kids are eating now.
Because I also am just suspicious, because if they rolled out for it with 8 weeks, then they're confidently coming out with the naked Cheetos. Are they banking on the fact that people don't want dyes? Or is there just something else in there that's not a dye?
Well, and I'm going to get there. So remember that probably what took them 8 weeks was to come up with a name for it and a bag for it. They're putting it in this cool looking white bag with blue letters. So, because it's naked. But remember that it's probably the marketing and the packaging that took them 8 weeks to make. Because remember that if you're selling Cheetos in Europe and in Canada,
You can't
use the dyes. So they already had the recipe.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Which goes to my next question, which you've heard me ask here before. Why the hell are they making different products for the U.S. instead of just making the one product? Like, listen, I'm no economic
Because
genius.
we're overly confident and arrogant as Americans. And we just think that, we're better, so everything we have is better. We don't need to check because we're better. But
why? The thing is,
we're so confident that we're easily taken advantage of because of it.
You think the dyes don't have an effect on the flavor, which is what they're telling us, because they're promising the same iconic flavor. That's literally what their CMO or whatever is saying.
Say that like different color M&Ms taste different.
Exactly. The dyes really have no effect on the flavor. They're saying, oh, you're going to get the same iconic taste. It's just going to not have the dyes.
What is the taste of Cheetos?
It's cheese. What they want you to believe cheese is.
It has the mouthfeel of cheese.
Exactly. They want you to believe that's cheese. So the whole thing is they're basically banking on this is going to taste the same. So you're telling me that your little BS product tastes the same without the stuff that we already knew was bad for us.
Yeah.
But you decided to put that in there.
You're just going to make it more available for us. Thank you.
You decided to put that in there anyway. And then you're telling me that you already make a better version of it. I mean, we need to talk about why the version kept getting bastardized to what it is now.
I mean, that's not just with Cheetos. That's with like Fruit Loops.
Everything, Oreos, all these cookies, Chips Ahoy. If we go back to the ones we used to eat when we were kids and we compare them to now, and people have made these comparisons, the ingredients of Oreos 30 years ago are not the same of Oreos today.
Yeah.
But they made it taste the same. You know what I mean? So this is where, guys, when I tell you, hey, there's an agenda, there's nefarious intent behind a lot of this stuff out. You start laying out the facts, it's pretty hard to contend with that fact, right? So I'm no economic genius, but I keep saying it. If you make one version of the product and sell that everywhere, your margins are better than if you make multiple versions for different markets, right?
Not if the market for the U.S. is more unhealthy.
But you condition.
But is cheaper to make, And also, you want to go down the theory that the dyes are causing behavioral issues, especially in kids. Now those kids are going to be defiant and only want Cheetos. If you don't give me my Cheetos, I'm going to be pissed. And now it's a cycle to keep consuming, keep consuming, keep consuming.
The thing is, if it's cheaper to make a more BS version, I don't believe that, because you got to get more chemicals and all this stuff. Your margins,
But that's by design. The chemicals are going to be cheaper.
but you're cutting into your margins when you have to create a different supply chain, right? And a different, like, hey, this product has to go through these processes, and then I put it to market. Now I'm creating a separate supply chain. This product now has to go through these things on top of these things, and then I put it to market. So you're adding, that's more employees, more hands-on, and more touching.
But I would think what I'm
Whereas
saying
if
is
I
that
just condense my production process, I can make more money off the same thing, right? It doesn't make sense to me to make multiple versions of it to put out in different parts of the world. It just doesn't. I would just have one singular thing and I sell it to everybody. You make more money that way. Now, and on top of that, the US market has been conditioned to like BS.
well, and it's a visual attraction too.
Yeah,
Because I can tell you right now, it's Chester Cheeto on the Cheetos.
Yeah. No, they've branded, they've conditioned us to
Yeah.
recognize that brand. They've conditioned us. They sell bigger bags here than they probably do in the UK and they probably do in Canada. Like over there, they're probably the bags this big. Here they'll sell the family size and all that stuff. So we've been conditioned to want.
I was never a big fan of Cheetos. They kind of were disappointing to me.
I liked them. I liked them when I was a kid. And the whole thing is, we say we've eaten this stuff and people are like, well, you used to eat that when you were a kid and you turned out all right. It's like, yo, I was born in 83, grew up in the 90s, which sadly, every day I'm like, oh, the 90s were lit. We really, we were outside. We didn't have cell phones. There was no social media. If you said something crazy about somebody, you had to stand in front of them and duke it out. Like, it was glorious. It was beautiful days, guys. So anyway, we didn't know any better. We didn't have the internet. We didn't know. My mom didn't know any better than to give me Cheetos. The only thing my mom figured out was, yo, when you eat Skittles, you turn into a monster, so I'm not going to give you Skittles. But she would give me all the other candy.
Yeah.
But it was like, don't Skittles? No.
Yeah.
But she figured that out by experience. No, but she didn't go on the internet or Instagram or Chat GPT to tell her like, yo, that's bad for your kid.
Yeah.
There weren't people like us talking in forums like this about stuff that is terrible for you.
And what we were alluding to is that when it was made in the 90s, maybe it had some BS in it, but not to the scale that it has now.
No, it's definitely, the ingredients have changed. And whenever people post those comparisons of Cheetos then, now, Oreos then, now, ketchup then, now, McDonald's then, now, it's crazy.
You have to think about the cumulative effect of things. So, okay, we ate Cheetos and they were bad, but then we didn't have like Wi-Fi. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have all these other assaults. We didn't have like Glade plugins weren't a huge thing yet, So all the additive toxic burden wasn't as great in the 90s as it is now. So that's what we're trying to say. And when it's something like Cheetos, like you do not have to have Cheetos. You don't.
No, you don't.
You can enjoy it, but you're not going to die if you don't get them. So you can remove them.
There's zero nutrition in Cheetos.
Yeah, but you can't always control like if you go to work in an office and the owners use Glade plugins, you can't always control that, right? So it's decreasing the toxin burden where you can, including in your food.
Yeah, there's zero nutrition in this stuff, right? You're not gonna die if you don't have a Cheeto because you miss. Cheeto has an essential vitamin that you need, right? It's not true. So the whole thing is they're promising the same flavor in this naked version, which tells me, where my mind went to, right?
What?
I'm like, the flavor is not created by the dye.
Right.
So that means that there's other ingredients in there.
That's what I was saying.
That
like
really we need to remove as well. Soybean oil. I'm sure the good old natural flavors and artificial flavors, like cheese-like product, whatever it may be, that they're putting in there that it's like, oh, we're taking out the dyes, but there's other stuff in there that's just as bad or worse.
You know what I just
and
thought
then
about?
they're not even touching that stuff yet.
You know what I just thought about with cheese? Remember Cheese Whiz?
Ooh, yep, we used to put that on sandwiches too.
What was that?
You know what? Next time we go to the grocery store, let's pick it up and see. I mean, we don't go to grocery stores that sell Cheese Whiz, but whatever we find ourselves at Target or something, because I'm sure it's still in the market, and let's figure out what's in that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry to my previous body. But I wasn't a big Cheese Whiz fan, but the block of Velveeta?
You were messing that up?
You put a block of Velveeta in the crock pot with some Rotel salsa and some sausage and eat that with chips?
Fam, you from the Midwest for real, for real.
Dude, crock pots are where it's at.
You from the Midwest for real, for real. I'm just listening and I'm like, that sounds like Ohio. It sounds like Kansas. Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's
That's
why you're real sturdy.
Oh my God. Yeah. So my mind just goes to what I wrote down here. I'm like, okay, Kraft Heinz and General Mills, they say they're going to remove their dyes too. I mean, they're making this, they're regulating the dyes
Kraft
out, right?
Heinz and General Mills, like I think about like the ketchup. Ketchup is BS. Mayonnaise is BS.
Oh, mayonnaise.
Like you have to get I have spent more time looking at labels of condiments than probably anything else because they're sneaky with it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so.
Yeah. And so they're all making this commitment to remove these dyes, but it's like, you're not doing it out of the good of it was regulated. This is going to become law.
Well, I'm glad that they are doing it because maybe people will start to be more aware of like, oh, this doesn't taste that bad. So why did they have to have all that BS in there?
I would hope that it would shake people up and be like, why did it have to have that they kept the same taste without that ingredient? But what I'm going to is that tells me that this is a sleight of hand. Yeah, we'll concede on the dyes because we can keep the same flavor, the same palate, taste bud, hijacking flavor.
Because they engineer it to have the perfect equation of sugar, fat, salt that is appeasing to you, right? And so it is engineered to make it addictive. But now, I mean, at least they're removing a lot of the BS. So it's a step.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and yeah, there's definitely a step in the right direction. Same thing, we just say, hey, it's a step, but we got to be cognizant that that's like, we're not even scratching the surface yet. And like I said, they're just, to me, it feels like it's like, yeah, we'll concede on the dyes. We're okay with this because that's an easy cleanup. I mean, it's going to take 2 years to clear out the supply chain and be able to put in the stuff without the dyes. But it tells me that what they really are hiding back here is like, yeah, don't touch my seed oils, don't touch my artificial flavors, don't touch this stuff, which is also, like I said, it could be even more problematic because it's the stuff that gives you that, I want another bag of Cheetos.
Oh, and I can see how people will be like, well, it's not as bad anymore, so I can consume more.
Yes, sir. There you go. There you go. So, and this brings me to my thing. We mentioned that, it's probably going to take 2 years to clear this out because these foods are packaged years in advance. The one you're eating now was packaged 3 years ago.
Yeah. I made a post, I think we reposted it, how people are like, I don't like leftovers. I don't want to eat leftovers. But you're eating processed food, which...
It's beyond leftovers.
Yeah.
It's beyond, like that, yeah. Next time you pick up a bag of Cheetos or whatever, look for the packaged on date. And then you'll be like, ooh. Anyway, the whole thing here is, to me, it's the whole palate detox. Let's talk about this for a second. No, you don't have to drink a fancy juice. No, you don't have to do some crazy supplement thing. Usually what I tell people is, if you really want to feel what kind of hold these tastes from all these crazy foods have on you, take 30 days and eat at home. Eat single ingredient foods in your house that you cook, that you source, and you put salt and pepper. Watch out for the seasoning now, because a lot of the seasoning, if you're buying seasoning off the shelf at a lot of these places, that has a lot of stuff in it too. So it's simple ingredients: salt, pepper, garlic, onion, turmeric, like this stuff that what it is, simple herbs and spices, and season your food with that stuff. 30 days. Take 30 days of just eating your own food. You're like, oh, that's not fun, Dad. I can already hear you complaining. Do it. and then watch when you come back and you feel something that's it literally, it's too much. It's too much. It's going to be too sweet. It's going to be too salty as hell, or it's going to be too much. And then that's where it wakes you up to the fact that, these flavors that we grew up with or that we got conditioned to like and seek out are not real. Mm-hmm. Oh, strawberry whatever, strawberry cola, strawberry this. And then you eat a real strawberry and you're like, ugh.
Doesn't taste like anything.
It doesn't taste like anything. And then when you cleanse it out, then you eat a strawberry like, oh, that's a strawberry.
Yep.
In season, baby, I could tell. Look at how juicy it is. Look at how red it is in the inside. And then you go and have the strawberry fake stuff and you're like, ugh, what's that? It's too much. So I leave you with that challenge.
Yeah.
30 days, eat at home, single ingredient foods that you're cooking, you sourced, all that stuff. Use simple seasonings, like herbs and spices, salt, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil.
Yeah. Also see how your mood changes, your inflammation changes,
yeah, you're
how
gonna
your
drop some
body
weight.
feels,
I
your
promise you'll
joints
drop some
feel,
weight. Yep.
how your sleep is. Yeah.
Yeah, people, I hate to go there because people are like, we're not a weight loss clinic, but it's like you're going to lose some weight because inflammation's going to go down without changing anything else. Even if you're not working out right now and you do this, you're going to lose some weight without even taking a freaking look at a gym. Why? Inflammation. Those first 5 pounds are usually bloating and inflammation. So I'm just going to put that out there for you. 30 days, guys. 30 days. Our thing, like the ice cream for bears, which is delicious. They get a shout out. We're not sponsored, but hey, ice cream for bears. If you're looking for a face now, holler at us, okay? Because we love your stuff. Anyway, they put on their little cover when you remove the top and you got that little paper thing that you remove. It says, the future of food is in the past, right? We've expanded that to the future of health is in the past. Mm-hmm. It's in farming like your grandpappy did. It's in cooking like your grandma did. It's in spending time with people like we did before we had cell phones, So it's in spending time outside like you did before we lived in super urban environments. Anyway, think about that when you're picking your food. All these crazy ingredients, and they're finding new ingredients. Like there's protein bars. Is it David's protein bars that they put this crazy fat in it that the body doesn't even absorb? Oh, insane. We'll talk about that one on another
just give
episode.
me my fat.
Disgusting. It's like, what are you doing, guys? So, at the end of the day, simplicity will win.
Yep.
Beat that up. Anything you want to add, Jade?
No.
We're going to close out with a little conversation about gratitude. People are like, when this comes out, will probably be somewhere in December. Right now, it's Thanksgiving week here. So we're recording on a Tuesday.
Topical.
Thanksgiving Day will be this Thursday. I don't know, sometime in December you'll be listening to this, but it's still the holidays. So we want to talk about gratitude a little bit because it's good for you guys.
Yeah. I just had a conversation this morning with a gentleman about gratitude because he's having issues with sleep and he's going through a lot right now. And he really is. He's like a lot of transitions in his life and not all of them are good. And I told him, and I've told this to some other people as well, I think I've mentioned it on here before, that just to think about, but better to write down every day 3 things you're grateful for. And I stole that idea from our pastor this past Sunday, had us do that or had promoted us to do that. But you can write down 1 thing, 2 things, 5 things, 10 things, whatever, right? I'm just throwing out a number, 3 things that you're grateful for. The reason why that is it will redirect your attention because it is so easy to get caught up and spiral about what's going wrong, what's going bad, what I don't have, what I can't get. All these things we need to be able to devote equal time to what we do have, what's good, what are we grateful for. And I had my friend Brenna, when I was getting ready to have my surgery for melanoma, I was spiraling because I was really worried, like what if they have to, they have to go in so deep, they scrape the periosteum of the bone and they have to take a whole chunk of my calf out, like all this stuff. And she was saying equally a chance that that can happen as the best outcome can happen. So why don't we spend equal time? Like, I'm not telling you not to think about the bad stuff, because sometimes it's going to happen, but give equal time to the good stuff. And I think that that falls into being grateful, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can have a day. So I've given this example before. Traffic is crazy, right? You're delayed by like an hour. But guess what I'm grateful for? I'm not the cause of the accident that's causing the traffic. I'm not the one who's going to be in the hospital or whose car is totaled or who's dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very grateful that I can sit in traffic and not be the one. My inconvenience is less.
Yeah, man, that's such a, it really is a powerful thing. I think, days that I have like crazy, where I'm annoyed, right? I didn't sleep enough. I went to bed late. I'm up super early. I got like a crazy day where I won't have time for myself. And I'm just like, I'm a little annoyed. But then I go back to, ooh, I have a lot of business. This is a good problem to have. Clients that love me, that have been training with me for a long time, and I love them. I love training them. I could be with no clients, which I've been there.
Yeah.
And that sucked. I could be, like Meek Mill said, I used to pray for times like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's cool to talk about Meek Mill anymore after the Diddy party stuff, but that's still a hot line, right?
Yeah.
I used to pray for times like this, where I was like, I got no clients. Man, I wish I had a full schedule.
Yeah.
And now I have a full schedule, and then it's like, I'm going to complain about it?
Yeah.
So that reframe where it's like, thinking about it, it's like, oh, I'm in a bad mood. And then it's like, oh, I'm not in a bad mood anymore.
Yeah.
It really does work.
And I'll give another person I was working with. He's very stressed out because he has to do a lot of stuff around his house because his wife is expecting a baby. And I told him, I'm like, how great is it that you're expecting a child to prepare for? That's pretty amazing, right? I'm not saying that it's not stressful.
Yeah.
But it's also, you're quite fortunate, right?
Yeah, you deal with it differently.
And even like with Dan and I, we moved into a new apartment, and unfortunately the people before us didn't take great care of it. And so, air conditioning needs to be replaced. The dryer isn't working very well. Tub was, just there's a lot of stuff going on. And at the end of the day, I'm always very thankful that these are our problems.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, my air conditioner's not working efficiently. I have an air conditioner. That's awesome. I have a dryer. That's awesome. Does it suck that they're not working great and I have to get them replaced and take time to do that? Sure. But I'm grateful that that is my only problem.
Yeah. No, that's definitely something. Yeah. It just immediately, if you really sit there and you're like, ooh, wait, let me think about this, and it immediately changes your mood and you're in a better position. I'm not saying it's going to make you go from sour to roses immediately, but it'll put you in a better position to deal with the adversity, whatever's bugging you.
And sometimes when you're like in an acute stressful situation, it's hard just to come up with things. So that's why it's good to write them down. And sometimes if you have like a really bad day, then you can go back to the previous days and be like, okay, I remember I'm grateful. It'll kind of bring you back, help center you. Because most people, they just get caught up and they spiral. Yeah. And it's like you're able to handle anything that's set in front of you. Sometimes we just need to bring it down and ground and remember that there is still good in everything.
It's really easy to spiral. And then it's hard to get out of the spiral. But something like a little bit of a gratitude practice for just 5 minutes. You got in the car.
Yeah.
You're like, think about it really hard. If sometimes you might have to think about it harder than others, and it'll be harder to get yourself to that point. But I would definitely just take that little tool, put it in your back pocket.
And share that with your partner, your friends, especially if you feel like you're struggling, because maybe they can help you, right? And so sometimes we have to remind each other what, like, hey, like traffic is an easy example because we're in South Florida. And sometimes you'll call me and you're like, I remember one morning you called me, you're like, I'm going to be so late to my first client because there's so much damn traffic, and you're pissed. I'm like, but how great is it that you're not the source of that traffic, There
was no accident. It was just people driving erratically and crazy like they do in
got
South Florida,
there safe.
But I got there
right?
safe. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. And so sometimes you need people around you to help remind you what to be grateful for. Not that you're ungrateful, but sometimes it can be hard to recenter. And with Power Athlete, that's one of the things with those groups of girls that we have a group chat, text messaging with. And every day, like, even though things are like hard, like one of them's a nurse for a transplant team. So she's pulling 24-hour shifts and has like an hour, 2-hour commute to that job. And so some days she's like, it's really hard to like get a workout in or whatever. And then we just say like, hey, like, be grateful that you're able to, like, you have a home gym and you can do all, so just kind of helping to redirect our attention. And I just love that advice that Brenna gave me. Like, if you're going to give attention to negative, equally give attention to the positive and make that the norm.
Yep. That's sound advice.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'd like to leave you with a little tidbit. They say that the healthy person has many problems or many wishes, and the unhealthy person only has one. To be healthy. Yep. So we can close it out with that, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day after you listen to this awesome episode that we just dropped on you. Go ahead and put some vinegar in your cleaning cabinet now. Take out some of that bleach and stuff, some of that endocrine disruption. Kick your kids outside. Let them roll around in the grass a little bit if you haven't done that yet. And with that, we'll leave you to the next one. Janie, anything you want to say before we close out?
Yeah. If you'd like to reach out to us in any capacity, our email is info@achievethelifestyle.com. Our website is achievethelifestyle.com. Or it always tends to go down somewhere.
In the DM. Hit the DM, guys. It do go down in there.
Instagram @achievethelifestyle. We're also on the Tiki Talkies, the PharmaPhobic podcast.
Tiki Talkies. I mean, we put stuff out on Tiki Talkies, but I'm not a fan of the Tiki Talkies. Them bots. So with that in mind, guys, we'll leave you till the next one. Hope you enjoyed this. And I have one thing that I want you to do. Like and review the show, of course.
Yeah.
And stay pharma-free. Thanks for listening to the PharmaPhobic podcast. If you found this conversation interesting, which I know you did, make sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And also make sure to check us out on Instagram @AchieveTheLifestyle. And if you're interested in pursuing a stronger, healthier, more capable version of yourself, check out our website @AchieveTheLifestyle.com.
The PharmaPhobic podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not constitute medical, legal, or professional advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making any medical or wellness decisions. While we discuss pharmaceutical, holistic, and alternative health topics, our content is not a substitute for professional medical guidance.